So when I'm using the speech recognition component, it is first, it's currently set, its default mode is called speak and select. So I speak and then I select from here. See, the thing is that normally, in the world of speech recognition, you talk, it types, pages flowing out of your mouth, that's the overall idea. This is a different process. What this is that I speak and it takes a guess as to what I'm trying to say. So if I say the word phrases, it gets it wrong. Surprise, surprise. Notice, though, that it's option number. So I just have to get close. I don't have to be perfect. The room doesn't have to be perfect. This is a very quiet room. It's not surprising it's working well. Come see me on the show floor. You'll get a different experience. But it's still working because I don't have to be perfect and the environment doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to be close enough. Yeah?
Do you have to train your voice?
Yes, except the training requires no reading.
Oh.
So, do you have to train your voice? Yes. Is it hard? No.
No.
So, it's a different concept of training. So how does this work? Well, let me show you. What I can do is I turn on the microphone. Rather, I go to train speech, English, advanced, and
time to think, part 1.
Time to think, part 1.
If one other person asks me.
If one other person asks me.
What I intend to do now.
What I intend to do now.
I think I will scream.
I think I will scream.
Such a shame, they say.
Such a fantastic event.
A shame, they say.
A fantastic event.
A shame, they say.
Now, if I'm just making a mistake, if I make a mistake, it'll repeat it back to me so I can say it again. If it honestly is just getting it wrong, I can hit the skip button right beside it, skip a word, keep going. It's not worth it. There is not, this hasn't been built so that every single word that you say is critical and it's going to analyze and come to amazing conclusions. In fact, what it's doing is it's looking at the whole of the way you speak and starting to piece together conclusions about it. Some people require next to no speech recognition. I need absolutely none. I'm a very clear speaker. Some students need more. Some students need lots. Now, what I do say, though, is that speech recognition, I hated the response of, well, I would say it's not working, or it's not working very well. They'd say, well, train it 10 minutes for every day for 3 weeks and call me in the morning. And of course, I would get a bit snappy about this, because that's just silly. What I find for a lot of students, they only need 2 or 3 training sessions. And this is not painful. Now, there is a window of girls between 11 and 13, and I don't know why, that for about 30 to 40% of them, it has difficulty with. It's not a guarantee, but it does happen that it just requires a bunch more training. But again, the training isn't as painful, so it's not as big a deal. Yeah, go ahead.
What grade was that again? Girls?
Yeah, for some reason between 11 and 13. You'd think it'd be boys with their cracking voices.
Well,
it's not.
I was just wondering, because some of the others that are out there, they can't understand young children because it's too high of a decibel in their voice. And I've heard that a lot about young boys.
See, I thought that too, but I worked with this one girl who sounded like she smoked 4 packs a day. I mean, there was no way that was the issue. But it was having a hard time with her. Like, her voice was clear. She just sounded like a 60-year-old man. I don't know. Like, it's not, I don't, we have been looking into it. We are quite happy to engage with people that are interested in trying to run studies on how to figure this out. But there is an oddity there. So I just want to let you know that you will have one girl at that age that you will be having issues with, and another girl at the same age, and it will be working beautifully for them. So what we've found, and we've had teachers respond saying, yeah, it took a couple more training sessions. I had to stretch it out over a week. But we did get it working, and the kid is flying with it. So. Now, for most people though, first of all, we're not looking for 100% accuracy. we don't need it because we're not trying to use the microphone 100% of the time. This is a strategy-based approach. So if the microphone fails, and I promise you, it likely will, so be it. That's why we have all of these other things to work on. It is worth knowing that the way that this software fundamentally works, and I realize I'm getting very, very close to the end, but the most frustrating thing about speech recognition is generally that it fails on the simplest of words because they're so short and small and discrete, and it's very hard to tell what words sound similar. So the word ball, for example, sounds like hall, wall, fall, call, dog, bowl, crawl, bull. You won't be surprised. Ball.
Bow.
Ball.
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 Oh.
Ball.
Oh.
Interesting though, if I just turned off the microphone, it's not like I've changed some of these aspects of the program, but if I say more complicated words that have more discrete sounds in them, that are much longer, which are typically the words that students have trouble spelling, ball is likely not one of them. Very rarely ever is. If I say the word technology,
Technology.
encyclopedia,
Encyclopedia.
dictionary,
Dictionary.
molecular biology,
Molecular biology.
forensic psychology,
Forensic psychology.
that couldn't have gone any better. Look, it is the whole idea behind this software. Look, I joke and I say, I mean, I don't want you to think this is a silver bullet. It's not, but the overall idea is that it works a significant amount of the time, that it presents a realistic strategy even for young students. The bigger, the hairier, the more unique the word, the more likely it is to work. Thus explaining why when we have students trying to write entire sentences, it gets stuck on the word is. And you have to say, no, go back, try it again. Is. And let me introduce you to this thing that it seems so arcane, a keyboard. IS, type it, get back to writing. Is this about proving the point that we can write using our voices, or is this about actually trying to make students' writing and self-expression better? So, it's a different take, and it does have its compromises. For example, there are absolutely no voice commands. What that means is there is no voice commands for the student to remember. What that also means is that if you have a student that is using, that has very limited mobility and they're hoping to control the entire computer using their voice, that's not us, we can't do that, we can't even try. That was the sacrifice. Everything to everyone is nothing to nobody. So, this is specifically for particular kinds of people that have particular kinds of ability, self-ability and control. I have a number of different ways that I can choose words out of that word prediction box. The most significant thing to remember about all of them is that I can hear the word before choosing it. If I'm trying to just choose a number or find a word and choose it right away, then I'm maybe using it to make mistakes. And that's not what I'm trying to do. And that's why the whole thing was speech anyway. So, you guys have been great. I have yet to figure out the most amazing way to just conclude a session. I know I've had a pretty good start. I've followed through all the way to the end, but I'm still trying to find a way of concluding these things beautifully. Look, this is the beginning. It is not some amazing ending. We have your coupon codes and trials at the back. We'll be certainly handing those out as we can when we get them. We'd love to get your names and information on your barcode badges, if that's okay with you. And by all means, please be in touch. Again, this is just the starting. So everything, of course, moves swimmingly here. You're working with a particular student, a particular issue. Give me a call. I'm happy to consult whenever I can. Thanks so much.